Okay, so this is a review of the second conditional and the third conditional because we're beginning a new unit. Okay, the second conditional. Let's begin with the second conditional. The second conditional, it's also called present unreal. Okay, because it's a present that doesn't exist. It's something that you imagine if something were different. Okay, that's what it's called present unreal. For example, I'm going to give you a real sentence, and it's not a real sentence because I'm making it up. But let's suppose that we say, Eduardo, this is the real sentence. Real sentence, Eduardo speaks French. He can talk to French people. Well, people is not with capital, is with small letter. Okay, this could be the real sentence. Eduardo speaks French, he can talk to French people. That's a real sentence. Now, with the second conditional, we may have a hypothesis in the present, the opposite of what is called reality. So the conditionals begin with if. So we will say something like if. This would be the unreal sentence. I'm going to put here unreal sentence. Unreal. And it would be like if Eduardo what? If Eduardo didn't speak French, and when I begin my sentence with if, there must be a comma after this. If I begin it with if my sentence is inverted, I don't need a comma. But if I begin with if, I have to use a comma there. If Eduardo didn't speak French, comma, he, and see, he can. He couldn't speak to French people. This is the real sentence, and this is a sentence in second conditional. If you notice, when I use the second conditional after the expression if, I have to use simple past. Now, what did I do my sentence negative? Because here it's affirmative, so I have to say the opposite, but it's contrary to reality. And now the auxiliaries that I can use in this case, I use could, but I can also use would, or I can also use might. Obviously, they do not transmit the same idea, but they can be used, okay? If I say, he couldn't speak to French people, it means, él no hablaría, no platicaría. I say speak, yes, okay. Talk, right? I changed the verb. This is talk. He couldn't talk. But basically, it's the same. Speak and talk. Okay, so other auxiliaries that you could use is would or might. That's the second condition. Something that is called unreal. Okay, that is not real. Yes? So, structure. After if, we use simple past, and then in the second sentence that doesn't have if, we can use the auxiliaries could, would, or might. All right? Is that clear? Oh, wait, George. So, I don't know when. Okay, back here, attention please. So, this is the real sentence, in parentheses because it's unreal too. And this is the unreal sentence. All right? Now, I'm going to raise and I'm going to write the structure, but this is the second conditional. The translation. Eduardo habla francés, él puede platicar con franceses. Si Eduardo no hablara francés, él no podría platicar con franceses. Okay? So we have to say the opposite, not the same. All right? So I'm going to write a structure for the second conditional. The structure for the second conditional. That would be if, can I write it here? Yes. If, this is a horrible letter. If, let's say, if Danny, and then after if I use simple past, right? If Danny, what? If Danny what? Oh, if Danny saw, the very simple past tense, saw a ghost, if Danny saw a ghost, si Danny viera un fantasma, comma, she would, she could, or she might get scared. Hey, stop talking. Thank you. So if Danny saw a ghost, then after the comma you have three options. You have would, you can could, and you can have might. And after this verb, Manuel, and after this we do not conjugate. The verb is normal, is base form. We do not conjugate. Okay? Do not interrupt her, Manuel, because if she doesn't pay attention, she's gonna fail again, and it's going to be because of you. So now, when we invert the sentence, we can invert the sentence. The only thing that happens is that this comma is going to disappear. Yeah, it's not going to appear there anymore. For example, I would say, Danny, obviously I'm not gonna say she, Danny would, or could, or might get scared if she saw a ghost. So the only thing that happens when I invert the sentence is that the comma that I have here disappears. It disappears. I don't use it anymore. But now pay attention. Is after if when we use simple past. Whenever it is, if it is at the beginning or if it is in the middle, is when we use simple past. Some people say something like this. Some people write something like this. If she would. This is wrong. We don't use would after if, not in a conditional, not in a second conditional. So after if, we're going to use simple past. After if, we're going to use simple past. And then in the second sentence, in the main clause, the one that is not a conditional, we have three options. Would, could, or might. Is that clear? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Now, let's go with a little transformation. You want to copy that? Okay, copy it, please. Copy it. Continue, guys. Silence. Silence. So, something happens, Danny. Thank you. Something happens when in the second conditional we use the verb to be. Okay? Because remember that for example, when we conjugate, the verb has to be in past after it. But something happens with the verb to be. Remember that normally, when we conjugate the verb to be in past, we use, for example, for I, this was, oh, well, for I, he, she, and it is was. And for we, you, and they is were, right? That's the past for the verb to be. Well, in the second conditional, we do not use was. We all the time use were. It doesn't matter, Manuel. It doesn't matter which person it is. We're going to use were. Why? I do not know. I did not invent the language. I only teach it, right, Nicole? Okay, so we're going to use were. We're not going to use was for the second conditional. In any other sentence, it would be incorrect to use, for example, if I say, I were working, it's not correct. But if I say, if Danny were, so let's suppose that we say, if Danny were an actress, if Danny were an actress, I did not say was, if Danny was an actress. I say, if Danny were an actress, si Danny fuera una actriz, which means she's not, you're not an actress, Danny, but you will be someday, maybe in your house, with your husband, you will act, oh, stuff like that, right? Because women do that. Okay, men do that too. Okay, if Danny were an actress, comma, she would, she could, or she might earn a lot, earn a lot. But she's not an actress, she's a student, she doesn't earn anything. Si Dani fuera actriz, ella ganaría mucho. Pero Dani no es actriz, right? So she's poor, right? Maybe your parents have money, but not you, you're poor, right? Okay, so when it's the verb to be, Manuel and Rene, when it's the verb to be, we use where for all the people. You put was in the exam, I cross it, right? Okay, because it where for all the people in the second conditional, okay? Yes, is that clear? The same happens if you invert the order, if you invert it. The only thing that happens is that the comma disappears. Now, here in my examples, I use Danny and Danny, affirmative and affirmative, but that's not the case. I mean, you can use Danny at the beginning and a second person at the end, or affirmative at the beginning and negative at the end. So you can make combinations as long as your sentence is logical. Yeah, let me write an example. For example, I would say, if Danny were, were an actress, comma, here I use Danny, and here I use Danny, and here I use Danny. It's the same sheet, right? Here I'm going to use another person. If Danny were an actress, comma, Martin, that I don't know, it's just a name. I'm taking that name out of my mind. If Danny were an actress, Martin would or could or might couldn't or might not ignore her, because Martin is a super cool boy and he ignores girls. But in this case, he doesn't, because Danny is an actress. So notice here that I have Danny here, and I have a second person that is not Danny. And notice here that I have affirmative and I have negative. So you can make combinations as long as your sentence is logical. Si Dani fuera actriz, Martín no la ignoraría. But Dani is not an actress, so Martín is passing by. Dani is there and he doesn't even pay attention to Dani because you're not an actress, Dani, right? You will see. So is that clear? Okay, copy that, please. Now, I saw you. Why are you touching Manuel? Stop touching Manuel. Don't touch Manuel in my class. Do not touch Manuel in my class. You can touch Manuel out of my class, not in my class. All right, Rene? Thank you. Okay, so let's work with some transformation. I'm going to write one sentence here. You're going to copy it, and you're going to make the transformation to the second conditional. I'm going to write a real sentence. You will copy it, and you will transform it into the second conditional, okay? Remember that in the second conditional, you have to say the opposite, all right? So, number one. Ulises plays very well, comma. He is admired by many people. Okay, this is the real sentence. Copy it and make it an unreal sentence. Do it, please. Do it now. Yeah, that's a real sentence. It's a normal sentence. Now you have to write a second conditional for that sentence. Oh, Manuel. Ulises plays very well. He's admired by many people. Stop. Thank you. Manuel. Yes, if Ulises didn't play very well, comma, he wouldn't, he couldn't. In this case, the correct option would be couldn't, okay? But let's write the three options. Or might not be admired by many people. Very good. Very good, Manuel. So, yeah, sure. So, en Spanish, Ulises juega muy bien, es admirado por mucha gente. Si Ulises no jugara tan bien, él no sería admirado por mucha gente. All right? So, that's a transformation. Okay? Good. Very good. Everybody has it, right? Okay. I'm going to write another example. You can do it. You were supposed to do it. Okay. I'm going to write another example. About me. Adolfo is a teacher. Teachers don't get a lot of money. So Adolfo is a teacher. So he's poor. Adolfo is poor. Okay, make the conditional for that, please. No, because there's a comma there. It's not a conditional. In the conditional, the comma, sorry. Renee is very happy, right? Okay, so quickly, Marie.
Adolfo is a teacher. He's poor. If Adolfo were a teacher, he wouldn't be poor.
That's correct. If Adolfo weren't a teacher, if Adolfo were a teacher, comma, he wouldn't be poor. There you go. Okay? No wasn't, but weren't. Goodbye. Take care. Bye, Alexa. Take care.